Bad news, we've had an engine failure. I put it all back together and it didn't work. When I add a bit of acceleration when starting, it sort of backfires, and we're heading directly to the coast. We're just sailing in and the tide's taking us sideways. Just gotta hope we can sail close to the anchorage and then get in. It's really not a place to be messing about. As you probably know, 2.5 years ago I bought this boat sinking in an anchorage and I've brought her back to life. Finally now we're making good progress down south and things have been going so well, sailing from Amsterdam all the way to Dieppe in France. But it was going a little bit too well. Something had to give. In this week's episode we're sailing from Dieppe Cherbourg, 110 miles. This is really not the place for things to be breaking. Around the peninsula of Cherbourg there are some of the strongest tidal currents in Europe. It's just not the place for things to be going wrong. This episode is one of my favourites. It's absolutely packed with everything that boat life has to offer. Things breaking, great company, fixing things. This is boat life at its finest. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I knew it was going to be light winds today, but it's again very light winds. I've just got one engine on because we've got the current against us for the first couple of hours. One of the battens came out of the main. I think these battens are a little bit undersized because today what we did was properly raise the main and then use the Cunningham, which Frank and Noemi gave me, to really tighten it, and still there's like a bit of a crease in the sail. So I hope the wind will pick up. I know when the tide turns, it's almost spring tide, so we'll get a good push along. After the last sail, I do have good confidence in the engines if we have to motor half the way. I didn't have it on my bingo card to be motoring all the way to Cherbourg. Yeah, the forecast says it fills in overnight at least, so I think we'll be good. Got a line in the water, so you cannot complain. Oh, yeah, that was... Oh, I got a little fish.
Nice rod.
Still not edible.
Still tiny, yeah. But still, you cast and you caught within 30 seconds.
Yeah. Now we have the full force of the current and we're just making the most of it because there's very little wind, and around the headland it looks like we'll get there as the current changes, but I just thought what we'll do is for the next 2 or 3 hours we'll stick both motors on in good power to get a good speed so that we're clear of the headland, because around the headland it gets really fast, like 3 knots of current against us. The idea is if we really push now with the current we can get out where it's a little bit slacker, and then hopefully at night the wind is supposed to fill in and then we can start sailing. It's all very loud, it's very not nice. There is wind to sail, but we'd be going at about 4 knots, and if we carried on going at 4 knots to the end of the headland we would be at the headland when the tide turns against us. There is a plan B of a port called Camp, but I think we'd rather just get it done 24 hours overnight, get to Cherbourg, and we need to be at the headland of Cherbourg before 3 p.m. tomorrow so that we can get the ebb to take us around and into the harbour. It's really important that we do that. So yeah, we could be sailing now at about 3 knots, but it'll just mean that we get stuck a little bit later on at night. So we're hoping we can clear that headland. I've probably said that about 3 times, but yeah, that's the plan anyway. I think there's a bloody smudge on my screen. Okay, So, bad news, we've had an engine failure. Luckily just enough wind to sail, but the sun's going down, which is a flipping pain. But this engine just stopped. I mean, it was running for a good 6 hours, and this is the reliable one. Gonna have to see if I can fix the engine. Oh god. Well, at least we're sailing at over 2 knots. Let's see if I have a spark. So if I ground this to the engine housing, should be able to see a spark. Could you turn over the engine just for like 1 second?
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a spark. In that one we've got a very strong spark. Now, I presume it would run off 1 cylinder, but that spark plug seems really dry actually, which could indicate carb or fuel. Otherwise it's...
Ready?
Yeah. Very strong spark. Alright, so that's good. It's not electrical, thank God. Do I take the carburetor off?
Well, it's going to be fairly flat all night, and sunrise is what, 6:30?
Yeah, less than that even.
And we still have 1 engine if we need to move out of the way, so...
Yeah. Luckily we've got enough wind to sail and the tide is against us, so doing 2.5 knots. But I always just love having 2 engines because if one fails, the other one is there. But now that one failed and I can't get to the bottom of what it is, I mean there was a proper good spark and it looked like there was fuel at the fuel filter. Yeah, I guess we'll just wait till morning to maybe take the carburetor off. Obviously still got 1 engine, the engine which was not as reliable, but it's been good obviously so far. We started off motoring with 1 engine today and yeah, we can do a good 4 knots with that engine, so I just hate not having a backup. First thing tomorrow, if I get a good couple of hours sleep, I will try and maybe take the carb off and just hope that it's that. If not, no idea. Then we've just got to cross our fingers. The problem is when we come around the cap of Cherbourg, incredibly strong tides, and we need to make sure we get there at the right time, and if we do, then we can potentially sail into the harbour, and then there's an anchorage inside the harbour which we could hopefully get to with that 1 engine. But I just like to have redundancy. Pretty much every system on this boat has redundancy, like the steering, even the rigging. I can always rig up the halyards to work as extra stays. I always like to have 1 layer of redundancy. You can wait till tomorrow, I think. We have a good little bit of wind, so yeah, and 1 engine, so it's not all bad. It has to be this. I've not actually opened this one before. Damn, it looks clean. It looks so clean. put it all back together, and it didn't work. Double, triple checked everything. All the fuel lines are running fuel. The fuel pump's pumping fuel, but it just doesn't start. When I add a bit of acceleration when starting, it sort of backfires and gives out a cloud of exhaust. Just gotta hope we can sail close to the anchorage and then get in. It's really not a place to be messing about where we're going. Fingers crossed. We're in like a race now. Spinning around. We're heading directly to the coast, but our destination is that way. We're just sailing in, and the tide's taking us sideways. Feels a bit wrong. It's at its strongest now, but at least they're not big swells, but we're just swirling. It just feels wrong that we're going that way. That's the barfleur head point there, and Cherbourg is over there. On Navionics, that's the way that we're heading. Turn at these port buoys, obviously one engine not in full power and a little bit of current going against us, so hopefully the engine will be strong enough. If not, we're going to bail out and go in the other entrance. I think we're okay. Not too much current.
Yeah.
And here we have the Dutch YouTube sailing sensation, Captain Case. Yeah, he did well to get here. He actually stopped along the way, stayed the night in a marina and arrived half an hour after us.
This will be Asian-French fusion.
You've been an absolute legend on this trip. Cooking up food.
Plenty of time yet to go.
Yeah.
Let's see if that holds up.
Yeah, it's just the honeymoon period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cheers, though.
No. Cooking omelettes and cassoulet.
Jeez, if it'll come out now. So our French-Asian fusion here is almost complete. Hopefully it's good.
Nice sail today.
Yeah, I just motored
Really?
the whole way.
No way.
Yeah.
It was pretty light winds, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh.
to make it. Oh no. To catch
Spilt
the
a beer
tide
on my
here,
phone.
I had to go fast.
Oh yeah. What a legend.
Give you that. Right.
I'll get you back.
Oh, you gave
Two?
me some beers.
Oh,
True.
having a party.
Having a party. So there's definitely a lot to unpack from that last trip, so I'll start with the first and most important thing. What's going on with the mackerel? Caught about 6 mackerel this whole trip, and they've been this big. The second most important thing, the engine. The engine which broke down, it's not the same as the one that me and my dad were fixing this last winter. That one has been perfect ever since we sorted out all the electrical issues. I was
yeah, very anxious coming through the gates at Cherbourg because, yeah, I guess I probably worry too much about these things. But anyway, the very, very bad news about that engine is when we got closer to land, closer to Cherbourg, I actually managed to message my dad. Of course, we were going through it because I'd taken off the carburetor, which is usually the problem with these engines. And I was so disappointed to see that the carburetor was clean. Everything pointed towards it being a fuel problem. Anyway, my dad was on hand and he said, squirt a little bit of fuel into the inlet manifold. And there's a video of me doing this now. And usually it should try to start and then you know it's a fuel problem. But the problem was it was just banging, doing some really loud bangs, like sort of backfiring. He said check the timing belt or the camshaft belt. Everything seemed fine apart from the fact that with the spark plugs in I could turn the flywheel way too easily. So usually on these engines when you try and turn that flywheel it's very tough because there's a lot of compression in the cylinders, but unfortunately it's just so easy to spin around. So it means that there's a very serious problem either with the rings on the pistons or the valves basically causing low compression. So I'm going to chat with my dad later on the phone and we can maybe walk through it and just see what the problem is. At this point you're probably shouting at the screen, you've just wasted so much time and money on these ticking time bombs of used engines, and you would be absolutely correct. So my options are now to maybe try and fix it, but I'm thinking whether while we're here in Cherbourg maybe get a brand new engine, which is something I should have done from the very start. I've learnt a lot about engines, but when you're 10 miles off one of the fastest races in Europe, you don't want to be learning about how engines work. Yeah, this engine was always super reliable. You just turn it, would start instantly. Now it is not. I don't know. I need to see if I can actually even afford a new engine. I know what I can't afford to do, and that is to crash my boat onto some rocks. Obviously this is a sailing boat and obviously one engine should be fine, but I think for my own mental health having two solid engines would be just make me a lot more confident achieving the goals that I want to achieve. It's funny because in Dieppe I was saying, you know, after we get to Cherbourg we're just going to be able to anchor, so all the high costs of the marinas will be leveled out, and if I have to buy a new engine then yeah, that's not going to be the case. In terms of the actual sail, it was really good. We did a max speed of 8.4. I think that was when we were motoring with the current along this first stretch. An average speed of 3.5 and a total time of a day and 8 hours, 32 hours. And we covered 110 miles, and this is the track. We motored for this first bit here because we wanted to be clear of this race here. This is where the engine broke. Obviously, as you know, luckily we had wind to be able to sail at 3 knots with no current. And then we had bad current going at, I don't know, a couple of knots. Then good current, then bad current. So we got a foul tide around here. Over ground, we were not moving at all. We were going up and down, but we were sailing, moving through the water. We jigged around, but I mean we sailed most of the way. We probably sailed 80% of the way, and then obviously as you can see, as the tide picked up in the right direction we started making moves, but we were just a little bit north of this point. Ideally, because the tide, as you can see, pushes you up, you want to be down there really so that you get the full flow. So when this is the part where we were pointing the boat dead south, but we were moving west, and we sailed and sailed to this point where we started making really slow progress. And because we were literally just relying on the tide taking us back with the wind coming from this direction, we were sailing on a beam reach or close hold actually, just to make sideways progress. Otherwise we'd be flying off up here. So we switched the engine on just to be able to point a bit better, and we managed, yeah, the last I think 12 miles we motored with the single engine, and it was absolutely fine. I think we were doing 6 or 7 knots, and I, at this point, with, you know, a lack of sleep, was so happy just to be making progress. And then that's the final turn into the marina, and we've come down, just motored in here to this anchorage. So yeah, we're here now, the Petit Rad, and it's amazing. There's a little supermarket just here, and well protected from pretty much every weather that we'll have. Easterlies not so much, but if there's easterlies we'll try and sail, but I'm not sure what to do about this engine first. But yeah, super nice in this anchorage, very calm, good holding. We've got a depth of 4 meters. Obviously with high tide that'll go up to about 10 meters. Got 30 meters of chain out. I have some spare chain which I can put on. Where we are now on this Cherbourg Peninsula, from here on there's anchorages everywhere. It's funny because I was saying, I think in the video, that, you know, it's super surreal because everything was just going so well. It's not a huge problem, obviously. I've still got motor power. I could even attach my dinghy engine as an emergency. That's a 9.9, but can't control it with a controller. It's a hand throttle. Yeah, considering at the time of recording this video it's the 1st of July, I'm a little bit ahead on my videos for the first time. It's good, but I'm really happy with the progress. You know, being in Cherbourg, anchorages everywhere around here. I love being at anchor. You just feel so free. I'm gonna have a barbecue tonight, soak it in, maybe even try and catch a fish. I've noticed a lot of lobster pots or crab pots, so I've got a little crab pot. I might put some salami in it and see what we can't wriggle off the bottom of the sea. So despite the engine problem, probably having a very broken engine, I'm in good spirits. Nice to see the kids having fun.
It's a big fella. Jesus Christ.
Oh my, he's big. That's like a spider crab.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. He's just
You
curled,
can, yeah.
He's curled up like a ball. Yeah,
Can you pick him up, you think?
I think he's a little bit small, this guy.
Jesus.
If you go arse and under.
Oh, like
yeah,
this.
exactly, yeah.
We got this type of crab, which I don't know if it's edible, but I'm just more interested in looking at these little things, these little aliens.
Oh no!
When he can get in there, he's
Poor
good.
crab.
He's good.
Okay, he's gone. So we got this thing. Also don't know if it's edible. He's fine. You just eat that seaweed, mate. Got it all over himself. Cool.
Oh, there you go.
Alright.
Holy shit.
We got a spider crab, and this guy's just full of seaweed also. Alright, we'll see what we have in the morning, see if we get a bigger one. On now.
Yeah.
You can't quite see him, but got Dad on the video call. So just put a screwdriver in. Yeah, I can feel. Well, I'll have to put you down again.
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, I mean, you'll just need to.
If I turn it,
make sure that piston's just up at the top. You might. I don't know if you might even be able to see it through with a torch. You know, when it's just right at the top.
Feels like the valve's not fully shut. Unless it's the exhaust cycle.
It might be on the exhaust stroke, that.
Yeah.
Well, what I
Oh
do,
yeah.
Until it comes back up again the second time.
Dad still thinks it could be fuel, so there's a DIY shop just up the road, 2 minutes away from the anchorage, so we'll pick up some easy starter spray, and we can definitely rule out fuel. However, we're also both worried about the not too much compression. So it's still way too easy to turn by hand. So, but first we'll check the crab pot, which has been out all night. See if we've got any more beasties. What have we here? They do freak me out. I think that's like
That's a good size one, yeah.
We'll put these guys back. Maybe they're edible.
Back to where you came from.
Locked and loaded. Start pilot. So I've got the carburetor off for the umpteenth time. I'm going to spray the start pilot right into the intake manifold. And if it doesn't even try to start, then we've got a problem. So I'll tell you when.
Yep. And just for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, like 3 seconds or something.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just backfiring, isn't it? Again?
Yeah.
Stop. Oh, that's slipping. That was slipping.
Yeah, that did move.
Yeah, let's try again.
Yeah.
That's spinning, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is spinning independently of this centre bit. So potentially the wood rough key holding it all together and holding it in place has sheared or something, and the timing's wrong. But now the difficult thing is getting that off, because obviously trying to unscrew that with the flywheel, it's just going to turn when we spin, so we have to jam the flywheel so it stays in place and then unbolt that. Okay. Oh wow.
Wow.
Your video's paused, but it's alright. Can you see?
Yeah.
So that came off like even by hand. That
Right. Well, that flash will come off now.
oh yeah.
Yeah, right. We'll take it off. Have a look.
Nice one.
The key's a bit mush, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what's happened. It's spun on that shaft, because that shouldn't be that slack. You remember the hassle we had taking the other one off.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see, it's just like powder.
That's your problem, Mark.
Yes.
Nice one. Yeah, nice one. That's good anyway, good news.
Good news, alright.
Alright, have a good
See
day.
you later, Mark.
See you later.
Keep us updated.
Will do. See you in a bit.
Okay.
So there's a key which holds the flywheel to the crankshaft, and it's separated. It's gone to mush. It's just amazing. We know exactly what the problem is, so I need to clear all the mush out of these little keyways and make a key, or maybe I'll try and find a place here in Cherbourg where I can buy one. It would have to be a very good stockist to have such a little specialist part, but they're probably quite similar between engines. So I'll clear it, see if I can clear it out, and just so happy that we've got to the bottom of what the problem is, and yeah, it can be fixed. This could be very similar to the size of the wood rough key for the impeller. This morning we got a visit from the customs boat. They were really friendly, really nice, and they just wanted the details of the boat, so the boat registration and the MMSI number, the radio license. Yeah, they were really friendly, really nice. They went through every cupboard, every nook and cranny on the boat. Just, I don't know, looking for contraband, cigarettes, alcohol, drugs. Et voila, the 50-cent oyster I present to you.
Nice.
So we took a very bumpy ride into Cherbourg to see if we could find a key. It's about 3 miles away to the centre of Cherbourg from this anchorage. It was quite a rocky ride. And we managed to find a Yamaha dealer. Today, the wind is incredibly strong, so a dinghy ride all the way to the centre is out of the question. I'm going to send Ben. He's happily volunteered himself. It's very helpful of him. I'm going to send him to take the bus, and he's going to get us some titanium epoxy to fix the flywheel, because that's also cracked as well, so it'll just fill in the gaps that have been left by the cracks. And yeah, rather than making a key, he's going to go pick up the key, which has been delivered to the dealership today. I'm going to stay on the boat and hope that everything stays in place. Obviously we linked up the 2 anchor chains with 2 shackles, which is a bit of a faux pas. Shouldn't really be doing that, but put a bit of mousing wire on them, so they should be all right. And yeah, I'm just going to keep an eye on the boat for the next 3 days in this anchorage. It's going to be blowing 30 knots, up to 30 knots, and a bit rainy and rubbish. And obviously at high tide, which it is pretty much now, we've got about 10 meters of depth, so I've probably got about 50, 60 meters of chain out, so should be solid. Just relying on those shackles a little bit, but yeah, should be all right. This is my editing setup, and I've got my anchor alarm, just have that on there, family portrait as well, and my granny's pillow, which she stitched for me, a picture, and of course a Nintendo for when it gets really boring. So it's the next day. Ben found this titanium epoxy. It looks like a dog treat. So the instructions say just to cut a bit off and knead it in your fingers for a minute, and then apply it to the surface. Yeah, there's just a bit of a divot on the keyway on this, and my dad said it's not too important, that's more just for locating it, but it can't hurt to get it proper flush. So I'll just fill the missing material with this epoxy, file it down to shape. Hopefully I can get it pretty true to the shape, because it's the taper which locks it to the shaft more than this keyway. I only need a tiny bit. Pretty happy with that. So the key slides perfectly down there. Pretty happy with that repair. The magical key. Is going to do anything.
Probably not.
Loctite. We need to get this super tight. Ben's got the chisel here, and we'll see what we can do. Use all my strength. Keep going till I can't go anymore.
Yeah.
Chisel. All right. Okay, say a prayer.
Yeah, light a candle.
Light a candle.
Nice one. F***ing well done. Lovely. Love it when a plan comes together. Nice one. Well done. Well done.
So there we go, engine fixed. I don't need to buy a new one, although it has knocked my confidence a little bit. It's scary how, you know, they are ticking time bombs. I guess every engine is, whether you get a new one, they're gonna break. But yeah, you might be wondering why I'm, you know, motoring so much, but we've been following the forecast, getting good forecasts, well, the only good forecasts, and it's either sort of heavy wind in the wrong direction or light wind in the right direction, and so that's led to some complications, as you've seen. In the next episode, we're going through the race of Alderney, which I think is the strongest tides in the English Channel, and a spring tide as well. So yeah, with the engines and the bad wind, it turns into quite the trip, but also an amazing trip as well. So I'm looking forward to putting that one together. But thanks so much for watching. Thanks to everyone who's subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you got to this point in the video, if you've got to this point of me rambling, then please subscribe. It's completely free, and you'll get to see the outcomes of this summer's cruising. A huge thanks to my patrons, coffee givers, PayPalers, and one-off through Super Chat on YouTube. If you subscribe to my coffee and Patreon, you'll have seen an update video so you can see where I am now. And yeah, just a huge thanks for everyone for watching, and for those amazing names coming up on the screen. Yeah, the next video should be a good one, so I'll see you in that one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.